sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. We were just talking about that. And it says that they were created to take peace from the earth. Well, when you go deep into the news about what happened with Soleimani, he was actually going to Iraq to de-escalate tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia. That's why Trump actually blew his ass up. Bet you didn't know that. Look into it. It's the truth, man. Soleimani, that's why the Iraqis were so outraged when it happened. Because here comes America once again. And then what does Trump do? Oh, they're terrorists. Iran's all, which they're heathens. They're wicked. They're going to be destroyed. But the pride and the hypocrisy of this devil is outrageous, man.
It's strange because the Iraqis, those are Assyrians, and they don't get along with Persia. You got a lot of Assyrians around here in the Central Valley because they were fighting against these other Middle Eastern countries with America. You got a lot of them that work, when we used to work. You got one of them I talked to, and he told me that he was in the military, helping Esau fight against the Persians.
It's a different sects of Islam.
Well, they're also different nations.
Well, different nations too. But how Esau separates them as being a different sect of Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Sunni and the Shiite.
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of them Assyrians are actually Christians.
Yep.
And that's what that dude was that I'm referring to.
Well, that's why they fight
against the Islamists.
Because they subscribe to Esau's Christianity.
Yep.
And that's why America helps them out. Because they want to be like America. They want the same. They want Americanization over there where they live. They want Muslims to be taken out.
Yeah. And the main reason why they do all that is because they're afraid of Esau. They're afraid. They think about their children, their wives, and they say, you know what? We can't beat this guy, so let's just join him.
That's why we talked to an Assyrian. I think was it the little guy, the little boxer dude?
No, it was the old crab.
Oh, the wounded knee warrior.
Yeah, it was.
Got the goatee, had the white goatee.
Yeah.
Kind. Because I talked to another one, and I was telling them about how the so-called Jews were really the devil. And he was like, no, whoa. I was like, he was like, I was telling him, like, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? He even admitted, he was like, yeah. I was like, but you're afraid to say it because you think those are the real Jews.
Yeah, they're afraid. Yeah, I talked to a few of them about that whole situation. How do you feel about Jewish people? Oh, no. You could see in their mind, they're like, fuck, we hate those rats.
Yeah. But they don't want, they're afraid to admit it.
Yeah.
Because they know that they have that, Esau has that power. And they're trying to be down with Esau.
Yeah.
But the Bible says that they're the synagogue of Satan.
Which say they are Jews, man. But do not.
There's Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
Yeah, you flee from Babylon by preaching the word, man. By this testimony. That's how you're going to save your life, man. Through the testimony of Yahweh Shai, and by having balance in your life, not making yourself over righteous by you know, you just the light of the fucking world. You know, the Lord's only dealing with you. That's being over righteous, but you also you gotta keep a balance between that and wickedness, because your flesh is weak, and because you know this wickedness, we're surrounded by it.
Over righteous, be not overly wicked.
Over much wicked.
Over much wicked.
I'm not going to say that victory way you down.
Meaning, yeah, you're gonna sin, but don't go to that fucking far. You know what I mean?
Don't continuously go off and then think it's okay, or don't continuously indulge yourself in being wicked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and don't do shit that's just totally, you know, outright wicked. There's in the scriptures it tells you things like just not even once.
This is Micah chapter 4 verse 10. It says, "Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies."
Yeah, so Yahweh Shem Yahushua is actually going to deliver us out of America. All right, we're not gonna go to some other country.
Yeah, because the brother brought out to flee out of the midst of Babylon. That isn't talking about physically fleeing from this place. Because no matter where you go, you're still going to be under these curses. No matter where you go, there's still going to be some damn devil over there telling you what to do. Telling you what are you doing here. Telling you where's your passport. You can't even leave the country unless you have a passport. Now you got to have the real ID, man. Okay? So Esau just locking in more and more. Scripture tell you, he will not let you go, man. He held fast onto us. Several.
No, I just said refuse to let you go.
He refused to let us go.
And then at that, Esau wants to make it hard for you, man. Because I went to go get a real driver's license, and I had to take my social security, my birth certificate, and I had to also bring 2 other forms of proof of address and who I am. 2 of them, man. So I had to take my car registration and my car payment bill. I had forgot to take one of them, and I was like, God damn, this ain't enough to show you that I exist. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you people, man? But it's really just Esau putting hell on you. It's just Esau being a demon. Is all it really is. Go ahead, keep going on what you heard.
Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Yeah, that's why all these nations are angry, man.
That's why they're bugged out.
That's why they're mad. They're mad. Yeah, they're mad. They're mad. They're bugged out and they're pissed off. Iran is pissed. Iran's fucking angry as hell.
So the emotions when you saw them having the funerals, they were like standing over the fucking boxes or whatever was left of the guy. Bro, the president was crying and the Ayatollah was crying and shit.
They said people died in that fucking.
Oh yeah.
In that ceremony,
there was a stampede.
There was a stampede. That whole damn nation was in an uproar about it, man.
Yep. And there was only 80 million of them, roughly.
So, hey man, the nations are angry. Iran is basically like they're tired of Esau, man. Everybody's tired. Esau is tired of Esau, bro.
North Korea, Russia, Russia tired of it. Even NATO's tired of it, man.
Yep. And then you got NATO, the European Union, which the European Union is like America. What the fuck are you guys doing, bro? Iran supplies us gas.
Russia supplies them gas too.
So America's sanctioning Iran and Russia because you're hurting your own allies, man.
And that also proves that Europe is the bottomless pit, having no natural resources like that.
Oh, and then another development was between Erdogan and Putin, Turkey and Russia. Russia's building a pipeline directly between Russia and Turkey, and America's trying to hinder it.
And also Russia is providing military aid to Turkey.
The S5 and the S4s.
Yep, and America.
Not only that, but the new, I think they call them T-50s, Sequoias.
Tanks.
Stealth, yeah, stealth fighters.
Yep. Yeah, okay, that's Ezekiel 38.
Yep. As prophecy, these things are happening. This is prophecy happening. It tells you in the scriptures that Turkey and Russia are going to come together, bro. Right? And this is what you see happening. All right, when you build a pipeline and you are directly supplying gas to a country, you're trying to establish a bond.
Yeah.
Russia, but basically Putin's like, look, America's treating you like shit, but look, we're good. Like we'll hook you up, man. And America's trying to do everything they can to stop it, but you can't stop it.
Yeah.
That was the whole basis of them setting up those proxy armies in Syria, because Biden's son, he operates in that area. They're trying to build a pipeline in Syria. Man. If you go back to the Obama administration,
Well, yeah, that's why Russia has interest in Syria, in Iran. Okay, they all have some kind of diplomacy, man. Okay, and like the brother brought out Revelation, the 6th chapter, he saw the American Edomites, these Babylonian Edomites. They don't want peace in the world, man. They don't want peace in the world. Okay, they're totally against nations dealing with one another. Okay, especially when it comes to these nations that are in the Middle East. Okay, because he hasn't really conquered them like he's done to Ammon, the so-called Japanese, like he's done to the Africans, like he's done to these people. Okay,
that's a sign of the times for these people to come together. Ezekiel the 37th chapter. This is that great wonder in the earth for Jacob to actually rise upon their feet and come together. And it says that exceedingly great army, man.
yeah.
Which we're not picking up army. We're not picking up arms or nothing like that. We're not even gonna do anything physical or spiritual, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you have right now you got a lot of earthquakes hitting Puerto Rico. But then as they're hitting Puerto Rico, they're also hitting Mexico. And those are two tribes that don't get along, man, amongst Israel. The so-called Mexicans and so-called Puerto Ricans. But the Lord is jacking them up simultaneously for them to understand that they're the same people, man. The Lord is jacking up his people so you can understand. And then you guys are going to say, well, this is happening to us. How come it's not happening to the other nations? And you're going to see us, and we're telling you, man, because we're the same people, man. Okay, we suffering these curses that are spoken of in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. Okay? That's the only way this can be explained. Alright? And you have to have spiritual eyes and spiritual ears to ingest this, man. Okay, the Lord has to be dealing with you. Alright? Because we can speak unto you, prophesy unto you, until we lose breath. But if the Lord is not dealing with you, he doesn't open your mind to receive this, you will not receive it. Okay?
Pretty much meaning possibly written in the book of life.
Yeah. You have to be chosen from the foundation of the world.
I got something for the message. There's Romans 13 and this Romans 13:11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Yeah, that's the point. And now is a high time to awake out of sleep. The Lord gave us signs to know when He is near. And the signs are going to be rumors of war, earthquakes, famine, okay? Civil unrest. These things are signs that the Lord is approaching. Okay? Rumors of wars, man. We're living in the age where every day there's a rumor going out. Every day there's some kind of military conflict. Every day every hour of the day there's an earthquake. Puerto Rico got hit with 5,000 earthquakes within the 5,000 within the last month.
It was like 500.
Yeah, but from December 2019 and now, it's been over 5,000 earthquakes. I was looking at it last night. I did a lesson on it, and I was looking at it, and it was like I was just panning through it, and it was like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, another on the same day.
They have aftershocks too.
Yeah, but these were actual war earthquakes hitting. And as they're hitting Puerto Rico, they're hitting along the Atlantic. So they're hitting Mexico too. Okay? I'm showing you what the Lord isn't doing this to you so-called Puerto Ricans and Mexicans just because.
Did Puerto Rico get hit by a hurricane?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, I thought it was this shit too.
They got hit with one this year, but last year was that big one.
Yeah.
Did Trump throw fucking paper towels at him?
Yeah, that was last year. But simultaneously, there was a fucking earthquake in Mexico. You can see buildings falling on people and shit. Simultaneously, man.
Then you had the earthquakes in California.
Yeah.
And that's why places like San Francisco and LA be a horrible place to be during an earthquake.
Well, you saw that back in what was it, the 80s or 90s?
We get
San Francisco earthquake, the great earthquake.
I still have a crack in. There's still a crack in my living room from that earthquake. Because it was, it was a major earthquake, man.
Yeah.
we had the bridge collapse on each other. That'd be a terrible place to be stuck.
Yeah.
An earthquake on the Bay Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge.
That's the reason why I always hated going to San Francisco. Like,
being on that bridge, yeah.
I'd be nervous as shit driving that shit, man. I wouldn't say nothing, but I'd just be like, man, I hope there ain't no earthquake. Even in the world,
Even in the world, like when we were young, we always driving on that bridge and looking around like, man,
there's no but water.
because it ain't natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know that, and then the scriptures say that the worms cover this place, man.
Yeah.
This place's infrastructure is through. All right, you got a D minus. The worst roads in America are out there in Northern California, Antioch in East. Antioch in Costricona County, Country Code. I forget how to say it. Have the worst roads. People's cars be getting all jacked up and driving.
Yeah, and then you got bad driving. They say Highway 99 is the highway of hell. Most deadliest highway in the United States. Highway 99.
There's always a crash.
Double judgment.
I was driving from down like around Merced up here to Modesto, and there was a whole truck just engulfed in flames on the side of the freeway, just like blown up, just totally blown up.
I remember a couple years back there was an accident. They shut off the freeway. And we couldn't I think go to we were in Sacramento. We were going to Sacramento one day. And then the truck crashed up or something.
Yeah, this judgment happens all the time.
We got some scriptures that says the valley of the shadow of death, man.
Yeah. Hey, the Lord comes like a thief in the night. Everything's good, and then out of nowhere, you know, your whole world, your whole life get turned upside down. You know, you got people that get a phone call at work, his whole family died in a damn car crash. Wife, and kids, fucking grandma, just all wrecked. And that's how the Lord comes, bro. Just like that. That's how this thing's going down, man. That's why out of nowhere, just boom, all this tension with Iran. They just hit the top general. They fired back.
They said it was just a slap.
Slap. Well, they said that they're calculating for a greater attack. So any day we're just waiting for Iran to hit something.
But then again, Scripture says terrorists are making them afraid on every side, man.
Yep.
There's sleeper cells in this country, and they're not all just from Iran, man. You got Russian specters here, just lurking, waiting. Probably your grocery store clerk. You know, when he goes home, he go train with his buddies, drink all types of vodka. You know, probably got some North Koreans over here. Cause hey, America is a doomed state, man. That's the reason why the Mossad separated the nations in the first place, man. You know, you got all these different nations that have their own loyalties. You know, it's never gonna work, man. The so-called melting pot of America is designed to fail, man. Because you're going to fight with someone that looks like you anyway. Chinese are going to be trying to look for another person that's Chinese. Just like when you go to work, they're all fucking talking in their language to each other. So you can't understand what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, it says that every man shall turn to his own people and flee into his own country. Kind of scripture. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame.
The unjust, they don't even understand judgment. You know, you have people that'll get hit with judgment and then literally start trash talking the Lord. Don't tell me about your God. Look at what God did to me.
Ooh, this one guy in Fresno was like, he has such a vendetta against the Most High. I was like, we were underneath the parking lot, and I was just like, why you hate the Most High so much? Oh, you killed my daughter. That was his whole basis, you know. And the Most High is gonna do a lot of that, you know. But that shouldn't have gave you a reason to hate him. You should have just, you know, considered it. Like, oh, maybe it was for a reason. Or something of that nature. Not to just be like, oh, curse the Most High and God's spirit. Like a lot of you people have, man. Most High takes something away from you, you're ready to all this other stuff, man. Your job, your cars. Hey, all these people are gonna do that these days. People driving around in the Escalades and all these fancy cars or living in these houses. Most of us going to take that away. You're going to have it one night and it'll be gone in the morning, man.
Well, you're going to have all these Edomites killing themselves. That's why they're already killing themselves.
Well, you'll start killing Jake. See, when things go wrong, Esau just blames Jake. And that's what they're going to do.
Red Monkey Army is coming, man.
They blame Issachar for all the fucking so-called job loss here in America. When they fucking having illegal shipments bringing these motherfuckers in. Esau be out there with the fucking white vans picking up Issachar.
At the Home Depot.
Yep.
Picking his ass up at the border.
Yep.
Smuggling his ass in. And then they want to talk about, these Mexicans are taking our jobs.
But they always at the Mexican restaurant eating Mexican food.
You know, yeah, they always eating Jake food. Or they'll blame Judah. Our economy's all fucked up because these monkeys, they just taking all the welfare, they're taking all this food stamps. Okay? when you look at the statistics, Esau is actually number one when it comes to this government assistance. He's actually number one when it comes to child abortion. Okay? But he'll blame it on our people. When you look at who are the biggest criminals when it comes to mass shooters and terrorism, it's you fucking Edomites, man. Okay?
They killed billions.
Billions.
Billions and billions. See, they don't want to ever dwell into the fact of World War I, World War II, or all these other different wars. They just want to talk about how Judah out there shooting each other for black on black crime, gang violence and whatnot, drug trade and this, that, and the third, man. They always got the microscope on everybody else, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they keep everybody not from looking at them. You know, oh, look at what's going on with Trump. Look at what's going on with Trump. Meanwhile, they're passing bills to send your ass to World War III. They're passing bills to be able to lock you up in concentration camps. To fucking implant microchips in you.
They're creating like robots to kill you.
Oh, that's some wicked ass shit that I see. There's a company called, or no, I forget what the company's called, but they're making these things called neons, and they're like human robots, and they're supposed to be like taking the place of like doctors and psychiatrists and counter store clerks and things like that, and they're made to look and have emotions and like.
Well, they got that in Japan right now too.
Yeah, they're called neons. What kind of stupid shit is that? Esau's a fucking retard, bro.
It's a Terminator, man.
He's an idiot, man. Like, why? You know?
It's not too far fetched, man. They have, see, a lot of the things that they have today, they have like 40, 50 years ago. They've been talking about. How do you know? How you think Albert Bivens and all them knew about the chip, man? Because they already had that idea out there a long time ago, man.
They came up with the microchip, I think, in like the 60s, bro. And their first, I think there was a guy that spoke about it that made like the first version of it. It was like was way back in like the 70s, the 60s, and 70s, around there.
With the computer.
Yeah, and that was the first version of an actual microchip that they want to implant in.
Well, now they got quantum computers where things are super calculated. That's why they can do those things and make AI robots that can now act as doctors. Now they got AI robots that can be your fucking spouse, man, be your girlfriend.
And have artificial intelligence. Be able to learn everything the Terminator said, man. When he was reading his own system makeup and shit.
Yeah.
Everything he said he saw it has out there, man. Waiting for this shit to go down, man.
He said, I have an advanced learning system capabilities.
And that's exactly why World War III, okay, Jacob's Trouble, they plan to exterminate Jake because they don't really need you anymore, man. They got robots to do your jobs now. They got robots in all these warehouses building cars, and they just send it through a line, and you got one robot put one screw in, you got another robot put something down, another robot weld it. They don't need you Jakes no more, man. Okay, they're getting all this new world order ready. So when they exterminate Israel, or they plan to exterminate Israel, Slovakia, that it's not all in vain. Okay, they have robots to do your jobs. I wouldn't be surprised if they have robots named Jake X554, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
You know, named after Jakes, man.
This is Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Jehovah concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. That's why all these countries are putting pressure on America. That's why all these different countries are testing America. You know, you have that Russian ship that approached an American vessel aggressively. They've been doing that. They had that Iranian boat that was like rushing them at the American boats just to fuck with them. You know what I mean? Yep. Just to fuck with them, just to poke at them. You know? Because America is greatly despised among all these nations. See, you got to realize that America is a death trap. You're surrounded by nothing but death in America. Because all these countries are waiting for one moment of weakness so that they could destroy this place, man.
You had Iran shoot down a Ukrainian airliner the other day. Okay.
Well, it happened the same night that they shot the missiles over at those U.S. embassies. Or not U.S. embassies, but those American bases in Iraq.
Which how can you blame them, man? They're on war alert.
Yep.
You can't. I mean, you got to be stupid, anyways, to fly an airplane over a place that is overloaded. You got to be stupid. And then what was righteous about Iran is they actually came out and admitted to it. They actually came out and admitted to it, and they said, you know what? We're at fault, and we're going to send compensation to the victims of what happened. Is America ever going to admit to that? Is America ever going to give compensation for the evil and the wicked shit that they've done? Hell no.
They won't even admit to it.
They won't even admit.
They're still running the story that they blew up Soleimani because he was wicked.
Yeah.
They could have blew him up any time that they wanted to, but it wasn't until he was going to de-escalate tensions with Saudi Arabia. All right, now he's a fucking threat. Why? Because Soleimani going around and fighting against the Saudis and having all these different wars in the Middle East. That's good for Israel and America.
What America is doing in Saudi Arabia, he's turning everything upside down. Now you got women driving cars,
Yep.
you got them twerking, you got the WWE going over there having women wrestling matches. You know, so there's certain people in the Saudi Arabian population that don't want that shit, man.
Yep. They're like, look at what's happening. Which that's what happened to Iran back in the 60s.
Which that's colonization.
Yep. Because what the scriptures say, he oppresses a man in his heritage. Their heritage is for women not to be doing certain things. Their heritage is to have their women in subjection. And you going over there and telling them that that's not right, you're oppressing their heritage, man. Because really, those Arabians, Ishmael, they're Hebrews, man. So they have similar customs to Jake.
Yeah, that's where they got the customs from Isaac. I mean, Sluggy from Abraham. So the whole idea of the woman wearing a veil, covering her hair, covering her head, that's because Abraham is her forefather, or the custom of circumcision, wearing a garment, okay, not eating pork.
Well, what does Ishmael mean?
Ishmael means Ayashma'ala, which he's heard of the power.
Yeah, so if you heard of the power, then of course you're going to hear his word.
Yeah, he's heard of the power because Ishmael's father, Abraham, his power, his deity was the power. Okay.
Yeah, so Ishmael's not totally wicked.
Well, remember we brought out last week that the trees in the garden, their customs, their ways were a benefit. They weren't wicked. It just so happens that they went off because Adam went off. So now everything got distorted. The only tree that the Lord said not to go to was Esau, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But he said all the other trees you can eat of those fruits. All right.
It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring thee down to the ground? though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh.
Yeah, that's the supreme spirit of these Edomites, man. They have the arrogancy to think that they can never fall, man. Who shall bring me down to the ground, man? Think that they're gonna always remain in power. Like, what's the scripture? They think that they should continue forever, not going to remain.
Psalm 49.
Yeah, they think that they're gonna continue forever, man. Not knowing that even if when they look at their own history or look at the history of other nations, every empire, every kingdom had an end, man. Just like my man Agent Smith said, everything that has a beginning has an end. You know? And no different for America, man. That's why you see it in decline. That's why you can parallel the ancient Roman Empire to what's going on right now, man. And it's going to be a lot more worse, like people have never seen before, man.
This is that beast, that dragon that lived who had a deadly head wound. That was him. So it never died. The Roman Empire never completely died. Okay, it went into critical condition, ICU. Yeah, it went into comatosis, and then it bounced back during the Renaissance era, man. That's what you see here today. Okay, same bullshit. You got the plebeians and the patricians as the Democrats and Republicans. It's all brought back.
You got the Caesars,
the Colosseums,
or the presidents.
Yeah.
Hey, and when you see how they operate is funny, because when Obama was in the administration, they would always say, well, Obama can't do this because of the damn Republicans. And then Trump's in office, well, Trump can't do this because of the damn Democrats. It's two sides of the same fucking agenda.
They all sit down together and say, we're going to say this today. Yep. We're going to pretend that we're fighting, but we're all going to come to conclusions on this. They're sitting down, eating pizza together, okay, drinking coffee, getting drunk, doing wickedness together. It's all.
Oh yeah, going to those mansion parties, man.
It's all fucking WWE, man. Which WWE is fucking fake wrestling, man. World Wrestling Entertainment. You didn't like the way it was back in the day. Shit's fake. You know, they're actors. I had a teacher when I was hella young. She told me that it was like 90% acting and 10% wrestling.
Well, it's not even real wrestling.
It's not.
Because when you really think of real wrestling, not to just go into that topic, it's Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah, the Olympics.
That you do at your school, or the Olympics. You know? You're right, it is. Well, don't say that to Stone Cold or all them. The Rock, they'll fight you for it, you know? But, I mean, some of it is real. They get injuries and all that other shit. They break their neck.
They are strong. They take steroids.
Yeah.
They do get, you know, when motherfucker picks you up over your head and throws you on the ground. Yeah. That's real.
But at the end of the day, it's all scripted.
Yeah, it's all scripted.
You see the slaps that come out?
Yeah. Because they'll slap.
Yeah.
You know, and then the dude will go.
They call it selling out or some shit. Selling it.
Yeah, they'll break chairs over their back, but the chairs are made to be broken. Like you can go to this. Like if I wanted to put on a karate gi and put on a black belt and break blocks in front of a crowd, you will go and you will buy special blocks that are made just for breaking the blocks. They're not. If you go out there with a fucking cinder block, you're gonna break your damn hand. So the shit that's on TV is all fake.
Yeah. It's not that backyard wrestling.
It's not that back where you see poor little 15-year-old Jake on trial for murder because he broke Timmy's back. You know? Because he fucking did a power driver off the roof of his house onto a table.
You know, when we were young, we used to do shit like that, you know what I mean? And then you got them. I think the Juggalos were part of that backyard wrestling.
They're heavy into that, bro. That's part of their shit.
What was it? Something, what's their name? Like their group name?
The Juggalo?
Yeah.
ICP.
Oh, yeah, ICP, yeah.
There's a lot of them now.
Insane Conquest.
Yeah, it's like,
There's a lot of jigs.
Yeah.
There really is a lot of jigs.
Yep.
Crazy ass jigs. I think that dude Shaggy too though was a jig.
That's one of the
yeah, so pretty much everything Esau does is scripted, man. Or even going back to,
Or real quick, look at this. This Isaiah 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Yeah, so Esau thinks he's going to continue forever now, throughout all generations. And then, if he was allowed to continue, everything would be Edomite. Everything in history would have been.
everybody would be cyborg.
Yeah, well, fucking.
Everybody would be dead, and life would be dead, and Esau would just be a fucking board.
yeah. Well, Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Borg. Elon Borg.
A transgender cyborg.
Yeah, transgender cyborg. Yeah.
I got emergency break.
Or what are they called? Androgynous.
Androgynous cybernetic being.
Yeah.
Cybers. I got emergency.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah 47 and 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. You hear that? Oh, the Spirit. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in the perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thy enchantments.
And the great abundance of that. Look, this whole setup is brought to you through witchcraft, man. All right, everything that you people subscribe to and believe is all brought to you through witchcraft. You were bewitched, man. That's why everybody has to have a TV. You got it. That's like the first thing you get when you get a new spot. A couch and a TV, bro.
Jake had to buy a TV.
You gotta get the PlayStation. That's what you gotta have. If you ain't got a TV, what the fuck you gonna do with your life?
You ain't got no laptop, you ain't got no phone, you ain't got no TV.
How you gonna check Instagram? How you gonna play Madden? How you gonna watch the game? How you gonna watch fucking keeping up with the damn Kardashians?
The politics that's going on with Trump. You know, to everything there's a balance. To these people, that's what it's used for. For us, we need these things to push the truth. We need these things when it's time to chill. Because the scriptures do talk about, not being over righteous.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
You have to have a balance. It's not about you're not the holy roller of the earth, bro. You gotta have a balance. If you're just trying to be over righteous, you're gonna kill yourself like that.
With much wisdom cometh much grief.
You're gonna get all kinds of demons on you.
Demons.
You're gonna be abstaining from everything. You're just gonna go nuts. And then you're just gonna bug out. You're gonna end up like that dude in a dark room with shades on. Just bugging out.
You always angry, always.
Yep. And then you're gonna do something to destroy yourself.
Just gonna lose it.
Yeah. That's why this is what the whole point of Yahweh Shai is for you to have that balance.
Hey, that reminds me of that one scripture too. Sweet in your mouth as honey, but bitter.
Yep.
Belly bitter, man. It's refreshing. It sounds good when you first hear the truth, but it makes you bitter, man. When you're first in those beginning stages of coming into it. You start looking at things totally opposite of what you did before, man. You start looking at so-called white people different, these other nations.
Yeah.
You look at it, you want to tell everybody the whole truth, and they reject it, you get all mad about it, like, I'm giving you the breath of
mine. You know what I mean?
Just want to grab him.
Receive it.
No, but hey, when you grow, you're like, I'm good. What you doing?
Yeah. Like that one dude that I was wrestling with this guy for like weeks, and then I got to the point where I was like, you know what, man, fuck this asshole. And then he was like, hey, bro, you can't give up on me like that. And I was like, you know what, fool, I'll tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
And then it was crazy because I told it to him, and he was like, so who are white people then? I was like, that's the devil that the Bible talks about. He went, what? You know, like he got it.
Yeah.
And then the next week, the Satan's just took his soul, bro. He was out.
Then come with the wicked one.
Yeah.
When was sown in his heart.
And
We saw that so many times.
So many.
When that happened, I was so just like he's seen it in my eyes. Like he was like, we ain't even cool anymore. I was just like it is what it is. I was depressed, bro. Like I was just like disappointed in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like man, that's fucked up.
I seen that character that the brother's talking about a few times after. This dude looks like he lives in a hole.
He got sucked out.
Yeah, his soul is gone. He's just always just
He's
gloomy out.
because he rejected the word. Man.
Yeah.
That happened to another guy that I got into it with, and he's seen what I was talking about, and then like literally a couple days later, he came to me like, bro, ever since I got into that argument with you, like my whole life's been going down the fucking toilet. It was a Jake. And he was talking about how he was living in his car. He got into a car crash with a woman, and he was like in the hospital. And he was asking me to pray for him, and he was literally waiting for me to pray for him. And I knew in my mind, like, damn, I can't pray for this guy. He rejected the word, you know what I mean? Like the Lord's jacking him up.
Did he work there too?
Yeah, he was working there for a little bit.
Same cleaner dude?
Nah, he was doing what we were doing.
That's the thing with these people. They think when they come into the true truth that they're going to be all prosperous and they're going to get a mansion, a Benz, all that church Christianity shit. When you come into this truth, man, you're gonna take a loss, man.
Yeah, your life somewhat gets so-called worse.
Yeah.
Because you begin to suffer no more. You realize that nobody understands what you understand except for the brotherhood, you know.
Yeah, you get that lonely. You might start getting that lonely spirit. You might have your woman.
It becomes all names, castaway.
Castaway. You know, you get like oh maybe they'll see it if I just start to them this way, and then you get shot down over and over again, and then you just get sometimes you get depressed.
On top of that, you're being chastised.
Yeah.
You're gonna take losses, and I took way more losses than I took wins, man. My personal
that's what it is.
You know?
Scripture said you lose your life.
That's what it is. You just getting your ass kicked by the world. You have moments where you
just like, damn, how come I can't win just one time?
You know, I used to always say in the world, like when people call me a loser, especially bitches, I'll be like, yeah, I am a loser, but I'm gonna win someday. You know, that's the way I see it, you know?
I can't lose forever.
You can't lose forever, bro.
Just like my boy Brandon Lee said, it can't rain all the time.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Said she saw, man, I wish the rain would go away. This is that fucking hell you catch, man. Because she was pretty much a teenager girl. Mom was hooked on drugs, getting popped by all the mobsters in the bar or whatever. Didn't know her dad, you know. She was catching hell. We catching hell too, man. We waiting to be delivered, man. But hey, the theme of the whole thing is it can't rain all the time. We're finna get salvation, man. We're finna get out of here. Even if we don't, Lord forbid we don't make it, we still gonna have the kingdom, man.
Well, all Israel's gonna make it.
Oh,
some.
Well, I'm just saying,
Some
missiles.
This is is Isaiah 25:1. It says, O Lord, thou art my power. I will exalt thee. I will praise thy name, for thou hast done wonderful things. Thy counsels of old are faithfulness and truth. For thou hast made of a city in heap, of a defense city a ruin, a place of strangers to be no city. It shall never be built. Therefore shall the strong people glorify thee. The city of the terrible nations shall fear thee. For thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat. When the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall, thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers, as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low.
Yeah, all Esau and these nations, man. Mainly Esau, because who's the one that talks the most shit?
And even going back into history, like dealing when we first came out of Egypt, you know, that deliverance was something that was heard throughout the whole earth, you know? They feared Yahweh, call him a terrible demon-like power, man. So his name is basically absent in this world. People don't know about Yahweh. They don't have no fear of Yahweh.
They don't want to remember it.
They don't want to remember it. So now he has to reintroduce himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's bringing destruction.
And that's why I think it's King David. There was like search throughout all the earth and see. Who's thinking of one thing? It's us, man. You ain't gonna win it.
Even some of these Israelite camps, they'll exalt his name, man.
They don't even use his name. They use a different name. They don't believe. You got certain groups that don't even believe that his name is Yahweh and his son's name is Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
They believe in Ahiah and Yeshaya.
Yep.
You know. Or you got IUIC. Their branch, their group is called Israel United with Christ.
This goes back to Christos.
Yeah.
Serapis Christos, right?
Yeah. Which is Cesare Borgia, which is today David Rothschild.
Which makes sense because the heads of that church are part of the government.
Yeah. Yep. They're black Edomites.
Black.
This is verse 6. And in this mountain shall the Lord of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the least, of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the least of wine. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Hey, that's what's happening, man. This covering cast over all people is being dismantled by the prophets, man. Basically, our job is to tell everybody the truth. And so that veil is being lifted. That's why you got all these people calling Esau the devil and so on and so forth, right? Because the truth is coming out, whether they're righteous, whether they're in the spirit, whether they're bugged out. That spirit is still, that righteous spirit is still going out there to point out who the thief and the murderer is.
Verse 8. He will swallow up death and victory, and the Lord power will wipe away tears from off all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off all the earth, for the Lord hath spoken it.
Hey, so that means the name of Israel will no more be a reproach in the earth.
Yeah. All these curses are going to get lifted off of us. You know? These nations are going to fear and respect us, man.
That's why you see all these curses that are getting put upon the nations, man. They're